Hello, welcome to the Speak and Flow podcast. I am so glad you're here. Today, we are going to talk all about storytelling and why it's an absolute must that you learn this skill as a heart-centered leader who's out there making a big difference. Storytelling is going to help you increase your trust, connection with the people, and also your influence. Today, we are going to delve all about the benefits of storytelling. I'm also going to even give you a framework, a very simple framework to follow so that you can create stories quickly and also use them within your presentations. So the three reasons why storytelling is important. First, it helps build connection, it enhances your skills, and also it delivers a lasting impact. The first piece, connection. We all need and desire connection nowadays. How many times have you been in a presentation and the speaker is going all into the details of facts and just going through the emotion of delivering the presentation, or really not trying very hard to connect to the audience? And then suddenly you're feeling really tired and bored, right? So connecting with the audience through storytelling is going to help you to increase the trust that they have in you and also your credibility. And who doesn't want that? Second piece is your communication skills get enhanced. As a speaker, you want to have visuals, stories, and facts, right? You can't just have one. I mean, you have to have all and satisfy all their senses. And so having stories connects with people emotionally. Neuroscience has found that when you tell stories, you're increasing oxytocin. And so they're connecting with you. They're feeling really good. And so you want to balance the both of all of it. Stories, facts, and visuals. And so in today's sample, I'm going to go and talk about a framework for you. And before I go into that, the last piece is it creates a lasting impact. People remember how they feel, right? They remember that. There's so many times that I've delivered a presentation with stories that people don't talk about my main points, although I would have loved for them to remember my main points. I even use acronyms. They still don't remember the acronym. They'll come up to me and say, I remember your story. I can relate to your story. When you tell stories that help people see the possibility, because you know exactly where they're at, you tell a story based on the problem of where they're at and also the solutions that you've implemented. They will remember that story. It's going to create a lasting impact. And so to demonstrate how to do this, I'm going to tell you a story. I am 16 years old. We're going back to the 80s. And I got my new car when I was 16. I got my driver's license and I was so lucky to have a brand new car. It was a burgundy Acura Legend. Those are one of the hottest cars back then. And I was so blessed. Burgundy, chrome rims, cream interior, and I like to drive and I love to compete and race with my friends. And I remember one night, it was about 6 o'clock. I'm driving along Highway 1 in San Francisco, going to Pacifica. I'm going 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, and I'm going and going. And then in the middle of the road, I see a big cat. The cat looked at me with those cat eyes and didn't move. I thought, are you going to move? What am I going to do? Do I hit the cat or do I swerve and potentially die? So in that moment, I had to make a split decision. Boom, I hit the cat. And the cat rolled underneath my car. My car is bouncing because of the cat. And then I start to swerve. I lose control and I veer off to the side of the road. I go down a hill. And as I'm going down the hill, there's leaves and branches hitting my windshield. And I remember my sunroof was open and all the branches and leaves are falling inside. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. This is it. And then boom, something stopped my car. I don't remember what it was, but I remember thinking, wow, I'm alive. Can't believe it. My car is totaled. I get out and look at my car. absolute mess, dents and scratches. It's totaled. I'm going to be in trouble. I'm going to get in so much trouble. And then anger, infuriating. I'm like so upset. I go up to the cat, walk up there, and I start screaming at the cat. I was so upset. And then for a month after that, I saw cats crossing my path. Then I got in trouble and life goes on. I move on. And then 22 years later, I started my business. And at that time, I didn't know what I was going to do. Who was I going to serve? What my expertise was. I just was so confused, losing a lot of money. And I decided to go on a spiritual retreat. And at that spiritual retreat, I'm sitting with a bunch of women. It was for women. And the leader in the front was sitting and talking about how when something dies, we also have opportunity to get rebirth, to reborn, and to evolve. And at that same moment, I had not thought about the cat in 22 years. I thought about the cat. Flashes of that cat crossed my mind, and I was thinking about that poor cat. And then at the same time, a cat from outside walks into the house, looks at me dead in the eyes with those cat eyes, and then proceeds to walk out of the house. How could that be possible? At the same time, the exact same time, I was thinking about the cat that I killed. A real cat walks in. I got the chills. I started looking at my phone. What does that mean? I typed in, what does it mean in spirituality that when cat crosses our path? And I saw all these articles about divine feminine and how we're rising. And that was the exact message that I needed to hear at that moment, because I was so frustrated, so confused. I was reminded that I was supported always. God was with me, no matter what I was feeling. And that was what I needed to hear. And I'm telling you the story for two reasons, because I want to go over the framework, but I also want you to remember that you are supported. Just keep in mind there's a higher purpose for everything, and you are fully supported no matter what you're doing. And we're here for each other in this community, and I'm here for you. I just told you a story that was true, that was meaningful, and there was a message. I hope there was a message there for you. I also used the KAKAR framework for telling compelling stories. I'm going to break down what KAKAR means and how I use that story within that framework. KAKAR stands for context, the first C, context. Challenge, the second C. Action for A, results for R. KAKAR. Now, in that story, the context was, can you guess? We're going back to when I was 16 years old. I'm driving on Highway 1 on the highway and in my Burgundy Legend. So context is, what is the background? What is the location? Where are you at? You can talk about the weather. So you're setting up the story. You're bringing people in to where you're at. So take them along a visual movie, right? Where are we? That's the context, the setup. Then you go into challenge, which is, what is the obstacle? What is happening to the character? What is the character facing that is an obstacle? For me, it was the cat sitting in the middle of the road and then veering off, about to die once I hit the cat. Challenge. Then action. Actions are the solutions that were implemented to get out of the challenge. I looked on my phone and tried to find resources, tried to find information of what the cat was doing there. Why did I see that cat? And then the result. The transformation that I got, and also the transformation that you want people to receive. That is the result. For example, my story is, I received and got information that I was supported. God was with me no matter what. And I also said that I want you, the audience, to remember that you are supported. You have friends to support you, you're supported. And so that's the result based off of that story that I want to share. So you always want to wrap up with what the result is, what happened to you, what was the outcome for you, but then also, how does this relate to your audience? Keeping in mind when you tell stories, you want to tell a story that relates to the audience's challenge, relates to where they're at, and tells them the solution that you want them to remember. Using that Kakar framework. You can also use that framework to put into compelling presentations. And if you ever need help with that, you just call me or ping me on my website at speakandflow.com, and we'll go over how to use that framework in your presentations and finally let go of the script. Once you know that framework, you don't have to have a script for anything. You just go, right? You have a structure. And so that's why having a structure is really important. It'll allow you to flow and be at ease with your words, not feel like you have to be perfect at everything, and also get all your main points across because there's a structure. So that's a framework for storytelling. And I hope that you can use that to deliver quick presentations, stories, to create content quickly. And so today we talked about the power of storytelling, all the benefits. There are 3 that come to mind. Storytelling helps you to connect with the audience, connect with them emotionally, to build trust and credibility. 2, it enhances your communication skills because now you can use story, facts, and visuals to illuminate your points. 3, it creates a lasting impact. People remember how you feel, especially when you're telling stories that relate to their problems, and connect with them that way, tell them the solutions and how you've transformed and how you wish for them to transform. So many people have talked to me about my story and how they remember that. So stories create a lasting impact. So those are the key benefits. And I hope that you take that and implement that right away. And tell me what you did. Tell me how that was for you. I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and put a comment into the chat. Or also, if you like this episode, don't forget to write a review. And I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for joining the conversation today. Are you curious on how you measure up with your ability to speak in flow? Come grab my free self-assessment at https://speakinflow.com/assessment. And I'll see you on the other side.